recently went to see Christopher Robin last week, and oh dear, this movie was an emotional road trip beyond belief. I mean, when you put any reference to Winnie the Pooh, yeah, you expect it to be crushing to the soul or to make you as happy gets. Now, before I go on, I just want to tell you that out of, I think, all of the modern Disney live action films that Disney has done so far, which includes the live action remakes, I have to say Christopher Robin is probably one of Disney's bests. And I'm not sure if that's supposed to be a compliment or an insult in comparison to all the live action movies Disney has been running out of ideas with lately. Though Christopher Robin is not a direct sequel to the Winnie the Pooh franchise per se, it definitely bounces off the Winnie the Pooh franchise. I mean, you can definitely tell they used a lot of reference to their original Disney films of Winnie the Pooh in order to accomplish this spin-off? I wouldn't even call it a spin-off because it's Christopher Robin all grown up, but it's still directly tied to the Winnie the Pooh series, despite it being live action. Speaking of, they incorporate a lot, or not a lot, of the original actors for the voice characters, but even so, I'd say a lot of voice work done for the characters is done really well. First of all, you have Jim Cummings, who's the modern voice of Winnie the Pooh and Tigger, so of course he does a very excellent job of that. And then you have Brad Garrett, the comedian, voicing Eeyore, and oh my god, he's the funniest thing I have ever heard, ever. Like, if you know Brad Garrett's work, he's from Everybody Loves Raymond, you know he can't do anything wrong. And then, of course, you have the voice actor for Piglet, whose name I can't remember right now, but I thought it was done very well. I mean, the voice, you could tell there was a different quality to the voice, but it still felt like Piglet. And same goes for Rabbit, Owl, Kangaroo. They still have that similar, oh yeah, I can identify this to this character because they sound like the character they're portraying. Even though that is the case, I will say throughout this movie, even though I'm trying my best not to spoil it as possible, you do see a lot of Pooh, Eeyore, Tigger, and Piglet in the trailer. That's exactly what you're gonna get out of this movie. Yes, you do see the other characters in there, but they don't make that much bigger of an impact than the top four that usually make an impact in the cartoons and the movies anyway. Ewan McGregor as Christopher Robin. The adult version, anyway. Holy cow! He does a pretty excellent job playing a character who you can tell is trying to fit into the society he was molded in, versus the I need to grasp on to my childhood aspect, especially with Winnie the Pooh always getting in the way with stuff. Well, I wouldn't actually call it getting in the way, I call it more proving something. But I do want to talk about the setting of this movie in the first place. This movie takes place in between when Christopher Robin had to go to boarding school and post World War II England. And I'm just gonna tell you, as a history buff, post World War II England was in a pretty bad shape. I mean, yeah, the Allied powers did win the war, but when it came to everyone's finances and getting their lives back together, it was very difficult. Because, the war and stuff. So, of course, that impacts Christopher Robin to do the typical man of the house thing to do, because he served the war. Now all he has to do is make sure his family has the best life possible. And this is the part that gets tricky as far as moving the plot is concerned. You have that aspect, knowing about what happened after the war. But at the same time, you also have the family issue of, since Christopher Robin is so focused on the whole factor of success, he's forgetting about teaching his daughter how to be a kid. And you can tell the daughter is already super intelligent as she is. Oh my gosh, she's a fantastic kid. So she could have gotten anything she wanted with her skills and her knowledge. And of course, that's what Christopher is pushing onto her. However, his wife tells him, you know that's not what she wants. She just wants to be normal. She just wants to live every day as a kid. Even though Christopher's trying to push onto her what his parents pushed onto him. This becomes difficult to try to review for me because, yes, I understand where Christopher's coming from, especially in bad times when success is the only way you could get through life because money becomes everything, but I also feel bad for the family aspect because in today's day and age, yeah, family is the important thing. But again, it's the real world scenario and the grasp of this what we want fantasy that are conflicting with each other, and I just think for the time period that the message could be a little mixed. Because it's basically, you're gonna throw out everything and sacrifice making all of your dreams come true with money success, but then you're also gonna lose that family bond that Christopher always needed. I mean, I believe that this could have worked. This definitely could have worked, and towards the end of the movie, it does work. I'm not gonna spoil, like, exactly what happens, because I know most of you have probably not seen this yet, due to the mixed reviews it's kind of been getting, even though in the UK it's the #1 box office hit right now. But, to me, I just think that maybe Disney went, I can't believe I'm actually saying this, to Disney on this movie. But regardless of that, I think the one thing that makes this movie so great is that Disney, thankfully, did not butcher what their Winnie the Pooh franchise stood for. I mean, yes, you have the combination of the childhood-like whimsy and the combination of the adult real world, which, of course, sets Christopher Robin off a bit because he's been so used to the grown-up world for so long. It's absolutely understandable for adults to be like, okay, Winnie the Pooh is not really being helpful in this situation, but then again, it's Winnie the Pooh. He has no idea what the grown-up world is like. And he's just being who he is. It's not like he's being annoying because he's doing it on purpose or anything like that. He's just being himself. Like, we can't punish Winnie the Pooh for being himself. We can't punish Tigger for being himself. You can't punish Piglet for being himself. You can't punish Eeyore for being himself. You just cannot punish these characters for being themselves in a world that's completely new to them. And actually, they've become more helpful to Christopher Robin in these aspects because now it's Christopher Robin's turn to learn how to adapt to them instead of them trying to adapt to what Christopher wanted, especially when they were back in the 100-acre wood. It's become a reverse type of scenario. And this helps Christopher understand, yes, that sense of imagination and childhood whimsy is important, especially when you're at the age that Christopher Robin's daughter was then, which was the same age that Christopher Robin was, about 6 or 7 years old, when he was in the original Winnie the Pooh series. So at the end of the day, I do understand why the reviews are mixed on this movie, but at the same time, I think it's definitely more on the very good side of the movie spectrum. Like I said, one of the best Disney has done so far in the modern live-action films, rather than the stuff that we've been getting recently, like with the live-action remakes of animated movies. Like, I think this movie was a perfect break from all of that nonsense. And I believe if Disney can go on this route and build their storytelling aspect a lot better, then we would get more movies like Christopher Robin. So that's the end of this video. If you liked that, make sure you hit the like button. That's somewhere down below here. And also, if you've seen the movie and you want to give your 2 cents on it, feel free to have a conversation in the comment box below. I'm really interested to know what you're thinking. I'm Cait, Cher, and it's been real. Ciao!